Hi, my name is Paul Brady, and I'm the Director of Inbound Marketing with the Center for National Vesting. So what I'd like to do right now is talk to you about the six-step national vesting process, which is a patent-pending process by the Center for National Vesting and Dr. Whitehair. In our diagram here, I want to walk through the 6 steps and then discuss it a little bit with you after we analyze the 6 steps. So in the diagram, you'll see in step 1 that employers pay their employees exactly as they do in a conventional economy, just paying them wages as shown in the diagram, subject to a minimum of $7.25 per hour. In step 2, the employer receives the goods or services produced by their employees. These goods and services can then be sold in a conventional market economy. The employer is free to charge whatever price the market will bear, and the resulting profit or loss accrues to the employer and is treated conventionally. Now, if the employer makes a profit, it is taxed as standard corporate income. There are no additional fees, levies, or taxes of any kind. The employer is free to compete in profit without any additional restrictions. Now, moving on to step 3, the ABOC, or the American Buyout Consortium, through a process of national vesting, supplements employee salaries based on the vesting schedule. The supplement is made in the form of a transaction whereby the consortium purchases units of market surplus from the employee. The units are purchased at rates below full market value. For the employee, these transactions represent normal taxable income. Please note that as with corporate income taxes, ABOC will provide immediate relief from personal income taxes. Over time, personal income taxes will be completely eliminated. Now, in step 4, the market surplus units become the property of the American Buyout Consortium. Now, in step 5, the American Buyout Consortium exchanges the units of market surplus at the central bank, the Federal Reserve, at full market value. And then in step 6, the American Buyout Consortium receives cash payments from the central bank. A portion of this payment is profit on the difference between the full market value of the market surplus units sold to the central bank and the discounted amount ABOC pays employees for the units. This gross profit will be used by ABOC to meet its obligations per the American Buyout Consortium agreement. So these obligations include universal health care, education supplements, and so on. So that was a mouthful. Let's take that from a slightly different perspective and re-examine the exact same thing. Let's talk about solely from the point of view of the laborer. So if you look in this diagram, I'm going to walk you through another discussion of what we just said. So let's talk about the second diagram. Now the second diagram shows, as we look at it, shows 2 distinct pools of value. Production and something that we call excess production. Now, in a conventional economy, labor, shown in the middle, and I representing the individual member of the workforce, in a conventional economy, I contributes to production. And what they receive back from production, or that pool of value, is a wage. Now, in a vested economy, there's this other pool of value that we call excess production, and also known as market surplus. So in a vested economy, the laborer will contribute to both production and excess production through their work. And as is true with production, when the laborer contributes to excess production, they receive a percentage back of what they contribute to excess production in the form of a second paycheck. Now that process where, is shown in the diagram, that process where people are receiving a distribution back from excess production to the worker is called national vesting. That's what that process is. And again, it's not a redistribution of wealth. Someone who contributes to excess production is actually getting a percentage of what they contribute back from excess production by way of national vesting. So let's put this in context and look at some real numbers here. So I'm going to show you a table here. Now in the table, we're discussing something that we call it's a common economic theory, but the fountain effect. So in this table, we're summarizing the expected changes resulting from the implementation of national vesting. So this is from Dr. Whitehair's book, American Buyout. So basically, the columns show the before and after values for hourly wages and annual income. The estimated quote-unquote fountain effect is shown for every wage level. The final column shows the estimated increase in annual income at each level. So let's just, I'm not going to go through the entire table, but let's just look at a few examples here and talk about them. So referring back to the table, so when you have someone that, according to, and this is referred to under national vesting as the vesting schedule. So when you look at the vesting schedule and you have hourly wage pre-vesting at $7.25, so that person's salary annually would be $14,500. But then again, because they're not only in a vested economy, not only contributing to production, but also excess production, they're receiving value back from their contribution to excess production, represented as an hourly wage vesting supplement, shown in this first line row here is $12.75. So the hourly wage vested is $20, and the annual salary vested is $40,000. So that's a change of 176% increase in salary. The total income goes from $14,500 to $40,000 for that particular individual. So now you'll notice that they don't necessarily have a fountain effect here, but again, when you're looking at this, the column that's labeled fountain effects, as Dr. Whitehair describes in his book, American Buyout, basically shows the impact of increasing wages for low and middle income segments of the economy. And the general idea of fountain effects, also referred to as trickle-up effects, is that any stimulus of low and middle income segments will increase the overall wealth generated by an economy, and the benefits of the increased wealth will fountain up to the higher income segments of the economy. Now, before anyone gets nervous, just to be clear, there's absolutely no relation at all to trickle-down economics, which we think that theory is nonsense. Fountain up is a fairly well-known economic theory, and we're just using the term trickle-up to bring some context to it. But to continue with the table, now, seemingly low-wage earners seem to benefit disproportionately more on a percentage basis, and high-wage earners actually receive larger increases in their annual income despite not receiving vesting supplements. So that's an interesting part of the table. If you look at that, the lowest wage earner, there is no negligible or no estimated fountain effect, but they have a very high increase in their salary, 176%. But if you go to someone that's making, say, $125.25 per hour for an annual salary pre-vesting at $250,000, they, as you can see, everything above $35.25 up to $125.25 receives no hourly wage supplement. However, the fountain effect actually increases that person's salary by 22%, where it goes, the estimated fountain effect would be somewhere, for someone making $250,000, somewhere around $55,584. So that's interesting, and that's what we meant earlier when we say that, in a vested economy, everyone really benefits. And although, as we mentioned, it may seem to disproportionately benefit people who are poor, that's not to say that the fountain up effect, which is, again, a well-known economic term theory, is to say that it doesn't benefit others at higher range as well. And clearly it does, as shown in this table. So we can't emphasize this enough. Everything that we want to do at the Center for National Vesting and everything we want to promote with our program, the American Buyout Consortium, is to balance the economy. As you saw in that table when we were examining that, through the vesting schedule of the national vesting process, everyone benefited from that. People on the bottom end of the scale benefited dramatically. For instance, going from $14,500 to $40,000 a year in income. But people at the higher end benefited as well as part of the fountain up effect. But essentially, we want to create balance in an economy where right now so many people are left behind that the people at the high end of the economy get all the benefits, and the people at the low end pay the most for everyday living. So we hope that you will look at our other materials, read Dr. Whitehair's book, American Buyout, and join us in our grassroots organizing efforts. Our organization called the American Buyout Consortium is our grassroots program, so that we can change the perception of how the economy is balanced. This is not a philosophical debate for us. This is not a partisan debate. It's very much a bipartisan effort for us. We're not interested in politics. We're interested in finding solutions to balancing our economy and providing the framework in a way that people can read and understand and implement. My name is Paul Brady. I'm the Director of Inbound Marketing with the Center for National Investing. Thank you. Please check out our social media as well as our video and printed materials on YouTube and on our websites. Thank you very much.